Stop 6. Lincolnville and the Sisters of St. Joseph. St. Augustine was Union occupied for most of the Civil War, and on January 2nd, 1863, Union soldiers would go house to house telling slave owners to free their slaves and instructing them to meet at a vacant field. A field just west of the St. Joseph's Academy School building there, just about at the west end of Bridge Street. At the end of the day, around 670 people had gathered at the lot and were officially freed by representatives of the United States government. The people who were there called it Liberation Lot. Further west of here, on the other side of the Maria Sanchez Creek, where Yallahalla Plantation had been owned by Gaspar Papey, 6 lots of land were leased to 6 formerly enslaved people: Matilda Papey, Aaron DuPont, Miles Hancock, Peter Sanks, Tom Solana, and Harriet Weedman. These people would become the founders of Lincolnville, and more would come 2 years later when the war was officially over. I encourage everyone to visit the Lincolnville Cultural Museum, Accord Civil Rights Museum, and Accord Freedom Trail DIY Tour for a fuller experience. Moving north up Avila Street just a bit, you will find the Father Miguel O'Reilly House and the story of the nuns of Le Puy, France. Jim Crow stretched out to educational opportunities, barring formerly enslaved Black people from schools and barring them from being taught as well. Here in St. Augustine, in 1865, Bishop Augustine Verret wrote a letter to the St. Joseph's Convent in France, asking if they would send nuns to help with the education of the newly freed people. They said yes, and in September of 1866, 8 nuns arrived in St. Augustine from Le Puy, France. First, they had to learn English. Then they commenced opening a school for Black children and adults right here in this house, now called the Father Miguel O'Reilly House. They taught until 1898, when St. Benedict the Moore School was built in Lincolnville. The nuns of St. Benedict were just as dedicated. At the height of Jim Crow, in 1916, 3 of the Sisters of St. Joseph's, including the Mother Superior, were arrested for teaching Black children. They were acquitted when the Catholic Church lawyers informed the state of Florida that their laws did not pertain to private institutions. Let's head north up this street to the large white building on the left, at the corner of Artillery Lane.